Welcome back to Close Up. Retired Army General Don Bolduc has deep roots in the Lakes region of New Hampshire, but it's arguable he came close to putting down some roots in Afghanistan, too, serving 5.5 years there defending America and trying to make that country a better place. He ran for U.S. Senate in 2020 and is doing so again in 2022. But today we're having him take off the political hat for the most part to get his viewpoint as a veteran and advocate for fellow service members on the issue of mental health. General Bolduc, thank you for joining us on Close Up this morning.
Adam, thank you for having me, and my best to your viewers.
So what is your message to fellow members of the U.S. Armed Forces who served in Afghanistan, watching these images of the Taliban sweeping back to power, who are now questioning the sacrifice they and so many others made?
Well, my message has been clear and it's been consistent, and I put out a call to action on this, is that you have nothing to be ashamed of. You have nothing to feel bad about. Our service members did exactly what they were told from the first rotation to the last rotation, and what they're now being asked to do as a result of the withdrawal. So this is the points that I want to make. One, we defeated the Taliban and Al-Qaeda. When I say we, I mean our service members did on the first rotation. We established a government, we established a military, we established police, we established businesses. We brought freedom and liberty and prosperity to men, women, and children in Afghanistan. We helped them with farming needs to get more production from their crops, businesses, and I mean all kinds of small businesses, from laundry to jewelry stores to electronic stores to rug making businesses, created schools, created clinics, trained doctors, trained nurses, and they did everything that they were asked to do. They did it with honor, they did it with bravery, and their sacrifice is not in vain. And that's my message. Do not let the political and strategic decisions interfere with your service, your pride, and what you were asked to do by your country, because you did not let them down.
Well, some veterans are in crisis right now, experiencing post-traumatic stress from watching these things unfold. Does the VA have the resources in place to handle what's going on right now? Or do you see a lot of service members turning to former officers and leaders like you, asking to talk things out?
Well, I think this is a comprehensive effort. And so what the VA lacks in any of their capabilities and capacities are tremendous 501c3 organizations out there can certainly help. I've received a lot of calls from them, a lot of emails and texts. I have their numbers. I've been giving them to service members to call. Certainly you have the VA, you have the 501c3s, you have family members, you have friends, you have employers, and everybody in this call to action should come together. Make a phone call to someone that you, even if you don't know them and you know they live in your community, reach out to them. Consider doing some community events. Consider doing some events that recognize service to it. But it's just not going to be the Afghan veterans that are suffering from this. It's also going to be the Iraq veterans, our Vietnam veterans, our Korean veterans, our World War II veterans, who still aren't getting the care that they need to get in regards to post-traumatic stress. So this is a all-inclusive, comprehensive effort. It can be best handled at the lowest level by the communities, and I would ask everybody to consider doing this. It's doable, and if we work together, we'll be able to help our veterans, and hopefully nobody will commit suicide or hurt themselves as a result of not feeling that they did their best. And please, veterans, family members, ask for help. You're strong if you ask for help, not weak, and you matter, and we love you, and we want you to get the care that you need.
Right alongside those American service members in the war in Afghanistan were the Afghan allies, the people there fighting for their own country, trying to help, doing interpreting, medic type work as well. Who do you worry about most who's still in that country right now?
Well, I worry about the ones that are contacting me. Obviously I worry about our American citizens that have been stranded there, regardless of their nationality. I worry about our allies, but when it comes to the Afghans, those that worked for me in helping us, whether it's interpreters or working on our bases year after year after year, we developed relationships with them and we know them. I ate dinner at their families' homes. They welcomed me into their home. And so I'm receiving numerous. I just before we came on here, I got 5 more requests to support the SIV process with a memorandum of recommendation. This process is not very user-friendly in a crisis. So we're working hard to do that, but we can't leave them behind either. They will be tortured. They will be killed. Their families will be persecuted as well. And I've been to all the places in Afghanistan where the Taliban have collected people and murdered them. And we don't want that to happen again. It's a chilling sight to see. I see these things on television like many veterans. We were there. I was on the ground there. I was in Kabul. I recognize the roads. I recognize the buildings. I can smell it. The smell comes back. You know, there's a lot of triggers out there. And this is serious business when you send our men and women off to war. They will come back different. Some will need more help than others, but nonetheless, you're different when you see the atrocities of war. And it becomes a moral dilemma for you, and we have to be aware of that. And now more than ever, even though they're not there, they're seeing the images, and it's really impactful. And when they have friends there, Afghan friends, they put up their hands. They don't know what to do. And I get an email, and I ask for the person's information, and I put an email together. I put a memorandum together. My wife's been helping me with those because so many are coming in, and we get it out in hopes that will help.
General, what's your reaction when you hear this administration say it cannot guarantee passage U.S. citizens to the Kabul airport right now?
Yeah, I disagree with that. I think they can. It's a matter of will. It's a matter of being bold. We need that type of action now. What's done is done. Now it's time to go in and secure the different airfields around the country that are still operational, that we built, that I helped build, I helped secure, my guys helped build and helped secure. Many others did the same. And then, secure that area, create a safe corridor, safe passage, go out there and get the guys and tell the Taliban, if you interfere, it's going to cost you. We've defeated them in the first rotation, and from 2010 to 2013, we defeated them. We can do it again, and we can't trust the Taliban. We can't take them at their word. We should have thought this out better, and it's just not a matter of keeping Kabul open and having people traverse the country, checkpoints and unimproved roads trying to get to Kabul. Anyone that's been there knows that's a bankrupt idea. It's not going to work, and it's only going to expose people. When you tell people to shelter in place, you're only making it easy for the Taliban to find them. And then when they go on the move without security, they're going to get caught.
And you called for withdrawal from Afghanistan in 2019. Obviously, I'm sure you envisioned a much different process than this one. From your perspective as a general, military strategy and all of that, how would you have executed this withdrawal from the country without the result that we've seen with the Taliban kind of sweeping to power?
Well, first and foremost, I would have realized it would have taken additional force structure to secure the airfields in Herat, in Mazar Sharif, in Kunduz, in Bagram, in Kabul, and down in Kandahar. I would have secured those. I would have told the Taliban, if you interfere with our ability to get our American citizens out, our allies out, and our Afghan friends out, you're going to pay a big price. And then I would use the necessary force structure to create these corridors, bring them in. We have this thing called reception, staging, onward movement, and integration. So you bring them in, and you receive them, and you stage them, and then you put them on planes, onward movement out of the country where you can process them in a lot more detail. And then you do the integration process back into the United States. That's how it should be done. I could have given this mission to a lieutenant with my intent, and he would have planned it a whole heck of a lot better than it was planned. So there was a way to do it. If you're going to withdraw, you got to do it right. Withdrawals take, just as much personnel, just as much resources, if not more. And if that was your intent to do that, and then say, all right, Afghan government, Afghan military, it's your government, it's your country, figure it out. But by that time, we would have had our Americans out. We would have helped our allies. And we wouldn't have this confusion, people hanging on to airplanes and falling off airplanes, and all this mayhem that's just exposing people to danger. That's what I would have done. It would have worked, we wouldn't be seeing the unmitigated disaster that we're seeing now.
Yeah, obviously a lot of questions in the months and weeks ahead for the Biden administration as to why something like that wasn't done. General Don Bolduc, thank you so much for your perspective and also for your service to the country.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Adam, and my best to your viewers. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thanks, General. That wraps up this edition of Close Up New Hampshire. Thank you all for watching. Please check us out next week. We'll be back on next Sunday.